Hi everybody, it's 314 Reactor here. Today we're going to be looking at a bit more Halo 3 with some Reshade Ray tracing by Marty McFly. Again, all links in the description. You can see instructions for installing this in my previous video, which I'll also link in the description. I just thought I'd load it up so that we could play around with some settings and see if we can make it look a little bit better and try out a level that I didn't try last week, which is the Storm, which is one of the 5 or 6 levels that's available on the Halo 3 flighting at the moment. If you want to get access to that, you can sign up to be available for the flight or whatever's remaining of it. Again, that'll be a link in the description. So let's face out this way, go to the lighting channel. So I did turn the ambient occlusion intensity down last time to 2, which maybe was a bit low. So I'm going to crank that up to 5, see how that looks. Bounce lighting intensity at 7. Wonder how that looks at 10. Looks pretty strong in the lighting channel. Turn it off. And back on. So you can see there's a hell of a lot of extra shadowing there. Yeah, I think I probably had the ambient occlusion too low. And bounce lighting at 10 doesn't look too bad. It may get worse in brighter areas, but we'll carry on with that for now. So it doesn't look too bad. Let's check the lighting channel out here with all this action going on. So yeah, that's not too bad. Some games look really excessive with that setting turned up too high, but see the blue from the HUD element there interacting a bit. See if we can tone that down. Yeah, I've tried some of the UI detect shaders, but they don't appear to work, unfortunately. So I think we are stuck with the UI interacting with the lighting in the game, which is unfortunate. Let's check the frame rate here as well. 66 frames a second. It doesn't feel like 66 frames. It feels like less, which is strange, but it's still playable. Let's check out the lighting channel again. So again, the lighting in Halo 3 isn't as strong as Halo 1, or Halo 2 Remastered, but you can still see the lighting there, especially from the computer and the engines on the Ghost there, and the impact points to the plasma. And there's plenty of shadowing going on. So let's flick back to normal. Let's turn the effect off. And then back on. So you've got massive extra shadows behind those barrels there. Extra shadow under the Ghost. Extra lighting in the Ghost there. The computer in the Ghost looks a lot brighter. The engines look a lot brighter. There's a lot more light coming from them. Makes it a lot more glowy, like Halo 1 was, which is good. So this with the effect on. And then off. And then back on. So you have some lighting there. It doesn't affect the further areas so much. Certainly affects the gun, again, which is good. Nice extra lighting there from the plasma. Extra shadowing from objects on the ground. So you can certainly see there's a lot of extra lighting there from that grenade that just went off. So you can see there the light from that deployable cover adding a extra glow. Definitely see it in the lighting channel there. It's having a hell of an effect. Also a bit on the gun again as well. It's also having a real glow on the bodies laying there as well. And you can see shadowing coming from them as well. Additional shadowing that's not there in the normal game. And again, ambient occlusion shadowing in that corner that's not there in the normal game. So I'm just going to check out a bit of Sierra 117 again and change some settings around. So what I've done is lowered the ray length to 8 and kept the ray step amount at 20. And this is with ambient occlusion at 5 and the bounce lighting intensity at 10 again. So you can see the bounce lighting is a lot more stronger, there's a lot more shadowing, and the ray length seems to have a strange effect. When you turn it up too high, it seems to desaturate a bit. Too low, seems to go completely off. I'm not 100% sure how that works. It's about finding a happy medium. So I think before I had it on 10. But turning it down to 8 seems to make some of the effects a bit more stronger. Especially on the gun there with the ammo counter. So I just put it at 8 for now. That looks reasonably decent. So this is the effect on. And then off. And back on. So with the ambient occlusion turned back up, I think I had that too low last time, definitely. So that back up, it adds a lot of shadowing in there in the distance, in the tree canopies and stuff. And cranking up that bounce lighting just really gives that ammo counter much more presence on the gun there, which looks really nice. Because you can see it kind of glowing. You've got the normal game ammo counter effect bouncing off there, but then turn it on, you've got an extra one all the way down there, and you can see it like glowing with the screen glowing. That makes quite a bit of a difference. It's a bright area here, let's turn it off and back on. The shadowing around some objects, especially those soldiers there, appears to be a bit too high, but not too bad. So it's mainly just about playing with the options. The ray length one is an interesting one though, because that isn't just more is better. That's an interesting one. Yeah, ray length too high, it seems to be too bright. Too low, it's just nothing. But some things, when it's low, seem to become more bright, like the lights on the weapon here, which is weird. So like I said, I think 8 is a good medium there. Or maybe 7. And of course the Z thickness is another interesting one. I think 65 is still good for that. Ray step amount. It's ray length at 7. Ray step amount, crank it up to 20. I think the ray amount, once you go beyond a certain point, you get diminishing returns as it just lowers the frame rate, but you don't really get much more extra detail, so may as well just leave that at 3. Even lowering to 2, there's not too much of a drop in detail, and the frame rate seems to jump up, so you can gain a good 7-8 frames just by dropping the ray count from 3 to 2, and you really don't lose any fidelity there. You may get some flickering in heavier lit areas or very dark areas, but that's a good boost. I'll still leave that at 3 though, because my frame rate seems to be above 60. I think the way the ray tracing kind of blurs a little bit makes the frame rate feel a bit off, and there's kind of a bit of input lag I'm feeling. Must be affecting the frame time somehow, because it's still getting me above 60 frames, but it feels a little bit off. It feels less than 60 frames. Doesn't feel quite right. But I guess that's just a caveat of how Reshade works. So you've even got some shading from this rock affecting that rock behind it, which is a bit weird. Or it could just be with the rays taking their time to fill in. Just turn the effect off. And then back on. So let's try out the arc again, and let's add in a couple of extra reshade effects and see how it looks. So what I'm going to add in is DOF and DLC sharpening. So sharpening really makes textures look very, very nice on games, but without making them too sharp and without making them too ugly. So you'll be able to see the effect if you're in a high resolution watching this video. You can look at the textures on the sniper rifle there and on the ground as well. You turn it back on, off, on. You just see the textures become a lot more defined and sharp, especially on those mountains in the distance as well. Looks like the depth of field needs a bit of tweaking. So you want to get it so that when you're looking at an object, it will focus on it, but not too excessively. So let's see what the hyperfocal distance. There we go. So if we blur it just a little bit, 1, 2, 3, not a bad setting. There we go. So as you get really close to objects, it will really blur the background. The only trouble is, when you melee, the weapon crosses the central zone where it calculates where to do the depth of field, and it blurs everything for a second. It's not too bad though. And it really makes the background areas look nice when they're got the nice bouquet depth of field there. That's quite cool looking. You can even add in a CRT effect. Brilliant. So you can tweak that and make it look like you're playing on an old CRT from like 2007, plugged in with composite cables from an Xbox 360. And you can adjust the scan lines and everything on that as well. Frame rate's been dropped to below 60 now. So yeah, there's quite a lot of settings that you can apply with Reshade. and tweak as you want. That depth of field is a tough one though. So yeah, it looks like you're always going to get that effect with the gun when it melees, because it goes right into the focus zone. So maybe I'll turn that off and just stick with the ray tracing and the sharpening. Like I said, it's areas like this where having the bounce lighting too high may be a bit oversaturating the lighting. I got a huge glow there, but we are in direct sunlight, so kind of makes sense. And those textures look really good with the sharpening. So I've skipped ahead on Sierra 117 just to see a bit of a different area. Oh, look at the glow from the ship there, reflecting the sunlight. So you see the issue there is from the smoke from the muzzle flash of the pistol. You can see the weird effect as the ambient occlusion goes through the smoke. Ooh, I like the glow on the weapon here. Let's turn the effect off. Oh wow, look at that. And then back on. And the sharpening as well on the textures makes it look really, really nice. Makes the textures look a lot better. And the extra shadowing there as well. That looks really nice. That really improves how that carbine looks. That's on. And then that's off. And then back on. Oh wow, that is nice. I like that a lot. I'm out of ammo for it. That's a shame. In fact, every gun seems to look better with the... well, everything looks better. All the textures look much better with DLC sharpening. Even if you don't like the ray tracing, I would highly recommend using the DLC sharpening, because that looks to really improve things. Very, very nice. Wow, look at the glow from the needles there. To the ray tracing, but damn, that looks cool. There's a weird effect on the stairs there. Again, that's from the HUD, unfortunately. So yeah, it's a bit flickering. Overall, everything looks pretty good. Let's turn the effect off. And then back on here. So you can see there the effect on the bodies there and the lighting on that vehicle. So maybe that bounce lighting is a bit too high there. Let's crank that down to 8. See how that looks. Yeah, that's a bit better. Yeah, definitely improves the look of the carbine there. Or the carbine, however you want to say it. With the effect off there, it really shows the old sort of textures and how it doesn't look too good. Looks a bit plasticky. When you turn it on, and in combination with the global illumination, it makes it look a lot more metallic rather than plasticky. Not so much with the hammer. Let's see about the brute shot thingy. The spiker, sorry. The effect off. And then back on. Yeah, really cleans up those textures. Makes them look really nice.
Kilo 2-3, what's your ETA?
So yeah, that is Halo 3 again with Reshade. And a few settings changed from last time. And the addition of DLC sharpening. Please do like and subscribe for future videos. I hope everyone's staying safe. Again, all the links are in the description. There's also a link to my previous video which walks through on specifically how to set up Reshade and ray tracing for Halo 3. I'll also put a link in the description that will lead to a sign up for the flighting. I'm not sure how much longer is left on it, but you may still have time to sign up and be allowed into the flighting, which is basically like beta testing for Halo 3 on PC. Check that out. Everyone have a good day, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.